ladies and gentlemen, we are returned, but I do not feel Kendrick has returned. So therefore, I will be taking over the intro. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the stream of HGC China, and we are being prepared for our final game of the day, while we await for Kendrick's return. But this is going to be the battle for second place. This is going to be the me intensifies. This is going to be SPT Super Perfect Team versus TheOne. That is going to be an interesting and tough matchup to fight over. But you can see here the one before, as I assume Kendrick left it on the China screen, with Hugo, Lucky, Meng, CJZ, and Meng
here.
Especially. Oh, you are here. Hello, welcome.
There was no way those were 6 minutes. Like, when I left, my PC was 6 minutes.
It was 6 because I got back at 3.
Oh my goodness! I apologize for residents sleeping there.
It's all good. As I expect Meg will probably be the highlighted player if they pick one from TheOne. But here we see SPT, previous phase champions. Now though, they sit in a tied second place with TheOne. Then they're going to look to try and claim some victory here. And I'm just going to lag, so I need to refresh.
Yep, there we go. There we have SPT, the three-time China champions here. Of course, reinforced by Molly, because their former ranged assassin player, Zhen Zhao, is still injured and recovering from a wrist surgery that took place even before the Eastern Clash, which was the reason why SPT also there was, dependent on a substitute, on Molly, who has now become a full member. Now, Meng, the key player to follow and watch here, and for good reason. His most played hero is the Greymane, but his most lethal hero, I would say, as of late, is the Genji.
I would agree. And did you just see that number? 13 MVPs. I don't think anyone's beaten that. I don't think anyone's even close to beating that.
I wouldn't even be sure whether Melody C or Aloof will beat that in this phase. Like, it's just absolutely insane to see how well Meng has grown and how well he has been performing in 2018. And sky's the limit for TheOne right now. They are an exceptionally talented team on the rise. They proved to be strong enough to take down CE last playoffs, and they secured themselves rank 2, which actually caused them to have a slightly easier tournament schedule at the Eastern Clash. That's why they came further than CE. So can they do it again? That remains to be seen here. SPT, of course, proving to be quite the mountain to climb.
And while the KDA was very in favor of SPT, everything else was pretty close. Yep. And this kind of really just is TheOne in a nutshell. They will die a lot, and sometimes unnecessarily, but it will, most of the time, be for a greater cause and work out in their favor, as they are selecting the first map, and they're taking us to Towers of Doom.
And indeed, and I think you had a lag before, so what is your current latency? Mine is still 630.
6.7, so less than 5, so we're good.
Fantastic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Towers of Doom for the first time today. Once again, today, Tetra and I learned something new, namely that the bans and picks from round 1 in this double round robin system league do count as banned. So less and less maps to choose from in these round 2 matches.
Yeah, definitely maps-wise. She did not specify that. That would have certainly made the hero picks much more interesting. If we had already gotten rid of 12 heroes. Wait, more than that, because we have two best of 2.
Oh my goodness.
So that would have been disastrous. But SPT bringing out the Garrosh to begin with straight away. With Medivh banned out, with Hanzo banned out. They seem very happy to focus on the tank as opposed to what a lot of teams would do, which is focus on the supports and pick up Malfurion.
And for the first time today, you can unleash the smorks in chat, because Garrosh, who had been banned all day long, finally breaks out of jail and is going to try and wreak havoc onto the lines of the enemy team. And you better remember that moment very well, because I normally do not imitate orcs often, so enjoy it. You'll never hear it again, Horde scum.
Scum, wow, harsh. As we see Uther and Genji, who saw this coming. We all saw this coming, because this is a classic TheOne opener. Empower Meng, pick the thing that empowers, give Meng his hero, give the thing that empowers Meng's hero the best, job done, build the rest of the draft around it.
All right, yep, that is a classic TheOne, as you said, Tetcher, with Uther first picked and Genji followed right after. It's one of the few teams in the league that still relies on this rather old school strategy, right? Really making Meng on that Genji shine like a bright diamond. SPT, on the other hand, I'm pretty sure they know exactly that something along those lines would come. And as such, I think they have prepared a strategy. Maybe going for the Medivh. Oh no, it's banned. Wait a minute. So what is left to really take care of the Genji? Maybe a Nubarak? I mean, know that Misaka and Soap both play the hero. Or a bunker.
Yeah, SPT, the only team in China that still consistently likes picking the Blaze. Yeah. But there's a reason for that. They keep winning. So as such, the Blaze coming out here, this is going to be their solo laner especially. And of course, the extra tankiness combined with Garrosh gives them a wonderful time. And of course, a little bit of harder engage that Garrosh doesn't immediately offer without having to get close.
Alrighty then. Now, what do they want to get rid of? You can't ban out both of the top tier supports, so banning out the Stukov, I mean, they will still probably have to face Malfurion. It's just a question of who do the one consider to be more crippling, more harming towards an Uther Genji play. And it looks like they think that Stukov with the guaranteed silence can be quite the problem. Because, hey, let's face it, none of the Chinese Malfurion players picks Twilight Dream anyways. So you better take care of the only silence left available.
Like I said, silence is... Wait for it. Gone. I swear 0 lasts for like 3 seconds in there is at the Stormband system. As we see this Stukov banned out. So, response by SPT. Probably some kind of tank that can help protect, or some kind of range damage dealer that sets up for Genji. This could be some kind of percentage damage dealer, so probably a Tychus that could burn through the Blaze and the Garrosh there.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate a Tychus ban. Of course, you could also consider a Malthael, but actually, you know what? Hugo plays a lot of Malthael, so that could definitely be an option. Towers of Doom is not the worst of maps for Malthael. There's a couple of choke points in which the Tormented Souls could receive pretty tremendous value. It's also a nice tool to have when the bunker expires. So basically everyone inside the bunker is going to be clumped up. You get massive value from AoE damage and healing. So I wouldn't hate the Malthael ban too much. Let's see if they share the sentiment. No, they take out the Illidan. That's how much they respect Hugo and his baby boy.
That makes sense. They've already empowered Meng. They don't want to empower both of the hardcore carries that the one has. Otherwise, you're going to have a miserable time, especially seeing as they can't pick Arthas now due to the fact triple tank just does not work at the moment. So that would be a crazy draft if they were to do so, and otherwise they'd be stuck with assassin blinds in the form of Cassia, or even having to resort to support blinds in the form of Lily.
All right, so we're also looking for the pick of Hihi, a player that we should never underestimate when talking about the one. He's been turning it up quite heavily as of late, showing us great Murden plays in particular, but he also could be a strong Arthas. The one, once again, doing their own thing kind of sometimes when picking Arthas without the classic counters like Raymond in the enemy team. They just like Arthas, they just like the slow he provides and the lockdown you can take. But no, they're going a completely different round this time. A Johanna for Hihi and the Sonya for Hugo. Okay, now we've got our front line. Let's see what is left for Lucky in the back line.
This is still kind of a solo tank Johanna though. Sonya is a bruiser. She can get exceptionally tanky, but I'm still not a fan of it. I think it could work out because they have the armor. In terms of tanking, it's not an issue though. It's hard engaged, but the reason I feel this is less of an issue is because SPT are probably coming to them. Let's be honest. Look at their composition. There's a good chance they're going to try and wade in, get stuck in, and try and fight the one on their own territory.
Exactly. All right. So what we're going to see here is, of course, now ideally a pick that would punish the Uther a little bit. There's plenty to choose from. It could be Gul'dan. It could be the Lunara. Both of them are outstanding when it comes to dealing AoE damage over time to really make Uther sweat a little bit. So let's see what they can do here. Malfurion already. That was a no-brainer, right? That was a very obvious choice. And Isli Ming. So none of the above, none of the priorly mentioned ones. It is not a damage over time damage dealer. It is going to be a burst mage. Interesting. Maybe they just wanted to pick it away from the double reset possibilities of the one. What do you think?
I guess, but Okay, so Li Ming versus Genji is a super interesting matchup because, for starters, Genji can deflect the majority that Li Ming has. The downside is Li Ming is actually very hard to kill. She has force armor, she has teleportation, she can dodge, she can turn around a lot. Wave of Force is great for disrupting Genji. She is very difficult to take down, so I think this is the strategy here. Just don't die until Genji runs out of buttons.
All right, and here goes the Tychus. Of course, percentage damage, super important against Misaka's Garrosh here. Actually getting tons of value. Once again, he can go for in the rhythm against both Blaze and Garrosh. That should always, you know, have one target in range, so you could stack it up like crazy throughout the game. If you stack in the rhythm well, you can actually get up to 5-6 seconds of bonus range, bonus duration, sorry. But yeah, looking good. I like both drafts, to be honest. I think neither team really with a severe disadvantage. SPT plays to their strengths, right? They play the Blaze. They've been doing very well with it. On the other hand, we have TheOne as well, playing to their own strength, doing their own stuff, doing their own style. And it's hard to really call out a winner of this draft, right?
Agreed. They both got kind of what they wanted. It's a situation like only thing they don't get is probably the Illidan, which they might have wanted to go for here. So yeah, I agree. It's going to be hard to call because this has always been both these teams' MOs, just going for what they like and just seeing what they can do. Like, they find a meta at the start of the new metas that they work with, pick it, and go with it.
All right.
Like, normally I'm still going to lean, however, if I had to guess, towards TheOne, because I can't think of a game where them first picking Genji Uther has failed.
That is a very good point. Can they pull it off again against one of the strongest teams, if not the strongest team in the region, SPT? Let's find out by introducing TheOne with Hugo on the Sonya, Lucky on Tychus, Meng on his baby boy Genji, ZJC on the Uther, and Hehe plays Johanna.
And on the right-hand side, it is Super Perfect Team with Molly on Li Ming, Melody C on the Greymane, Misaka on the Garrosh, Soap on Blaze, and ZZH on Malfurion.
And here we go. We see Blaze coming in for the first time, just like Garrosh. So no matter how you put it, this is a first-time experience today with the front line that SPT was able to lock in. Looks like TheOne is one of the few teams in China that does not respect the Garrosh as much as other teams do. Even CE was banning Garrosh out several times in a row against Beyond the Game. So we see reset capabilities for both teams, by the way, as well. Genji could, of course, go for the Swift Strike reset if he gets a kill, and Li Ming gets full basic ability, full ability reset if she gets a takedown. So be a battle of cooldown resets. I am looking forward to it. Meng already getting chunked down quite a bit in the middle here. Takes healing from the Regen Globe.
Yep, Regen's up. Gonna be able to rotate to mid lane pretty quickly. Not able to gank Blaze because Blaze is very difficult to kill, quite frankly. He is absurdly tanky. But we do see Misaka gaining stacks, going for that Groundbreaker.
Groundbreaker, of course, a really solid ability. Usually not that hard to stack. Like, normally we see Garrosh's, you know, complete that around level 10, 13 at the very latest. So on Towers of Doom, where you have a lot of team fighting near the altars, it should even be completed a little bit earlier, especially with Misaka normally being a very strong mechanical player, not going to miss too many of those. And look at what TheOne is doing here. They're focusing so hard on the top half of the map that they're actually pressuring Soap and getting the mercenary camp at the same time. However, they're completely neglecting and ignoring the bottom half. So they're going to have to rotate really quickly in order to keep those zappers at play.
They're getting XP from this, so this is a good. This is okay for them. But it's very rare that you'll see any team put much attention at all on the top of the map, which is interesting. I've been expecting some team to like develop a cheese strategy for top lane for a while now, but it's yet to happen.
Now, the good thing is their rotation towards bottom actually distracted SPT as well, so they couldn't even invade the second Zapper camp, and Tychus has been doing quite well when it comes to stalling the already unlocked mercenaries in the bottom lane. So not too much damage will be done against TheOne after all, so this is a pretty cool turn of events here. Now, the Uther here and Lucky, keeping him safe and sound for now though, but they need to be careful. That Misaka Garrosh can always turn the tide.
See him positioning sneakily in a bush, waiting for someone to rotate close enough to him so he could get the engagement. Uther is the target, but he's mounted, and Uther just runs at him and drops the stun with a Pursuit of Justice movement speed to get away.
Right, at level 4, it's always interesting to check Tychus's talents, and the golden icon means we have the bigger they are. So they're going to have to be quite careful now on how Garrosh engages those team fights, because with the bigger they are, they can chunk down the first 50% of his health quite easily. There he goes, look at his HP fall, and Greymane actually needs to evacuate as well, but both sides took so much damage in that exchange of blows. Meng actually has to teleport back all the way. Johanna is going for that top left altar. That means no main tank right now available for the one. They're going to have to play this very cautiously.
Immediate trade on top, and everyone starts making their way down to bot lane. A little bit of a scuffle up here happens in the mid lane as well. And too slow. Yeah, good zoning by Misaka with some body box. Indomitable is dropped. Overkill. But you mentioned burning down the first 50%. That's the easiest bit to burn down. They finally get down the second 50% though, and they're able to kill off Garrosh and Melody C. So they're able to pick up with the first 2 kills of the game, but they fall a tiny bit behind in terms of core health.
Yep, so TheOne picks up a lot of momentum now, a little bit of speed there when it comes to progressing towards level 7, which is a nice thing to have. But as you said, they took 4 additional shots to the core, which is not the biggest of deals, mind you. House of Doom is a very slow map sometimes. So if they manage to expand that lead even, or just keep it, it's already going to be a nice boon for TheOne. And already you can see the threat of Genji's Swift Strike here, especially when Meng is in the driver's seat. That here just needs to be kept under control.
Mercenaries just being farmed up by SPT in this bot lane, trying to put pressure on. As Sonya also grabbing Mercenaries in the top lane though. TheOne, like you said, have been putting a lot of focus on there and have been doing it very, very well so far. As we see the control being traded throughout these lanes together. And at the moment, it's still TheOne with that XP lead that are holding themselves in that game. That Sonya going to top lane is such a big deal in terms of soak.
All right, the Zappers are knocking on the door once more. TheOne needs to defend that. Johanna, of course, luckily is a rather strong tank when it comes to dealing with multiple enemies at the same time. Now, only one altar going to be activated this time around. So we have 7 seconds left on the clock. Look at Garrosh's positioning, already invading deep. Meng actually taking a full combo by Molly, causing him to drop down to 50. I don't know if he knows that Misaka is there. Meng has to deflect, gets healed to full HP thanks to Uther. What a bro, what a savior. And now, can they stall enough time for Sonya to arrive? Hugo takes every inch of experience with him.
Good, Hugo soaking his team up because like you said before, they're already ahead. Iron Skin is dropped. Sonya is now the one interrupting and zoning out on that middle area, but TheOne need to find a way to move themselves up because Malfurion has started the channel. He moves in with the Condemn and down goes Greymane. Good positioning by TheOne here as they continue to play their hand very hard and aggressively forward. And the throw, not even close to being in range to interrupt that altar, and the core health equals out.
Hugo actually keeping 2 people busy there on the side of SPT. Both Li Ming and Blaze were kind of zoned out by the Sonya, who refused to let them pass. And as such, the numbers advantage for TheOne near the altar area was just too much for SPT to handle. And with Greymane falling first and Genji once again continuing to be that menace, this is nothing SPT could really do to hold this anymore. Iron skill ready. Look at he's trying to bait it in. He's trying to maybe cause Misaka to turn around. The roots are good, but it was a very, very close situation here for Misaka. He almost became the hunter after being the hunter.
He was potentially in danger as well. He played that very riskily, but it did work out in his favor. Did not die, did not get the kill though. So either way, it is kind of okay. We see here, once again, the lack of engage potential for TheOne, unfortunately being an issue here. Blessed Shield is the closest they have, and that's such a short amount of CC, it can be a problem. Garrosh Warlord's challenge, Bunker, expected heroics here. Go for the throat. Malfurion, will we see the dream? The Twilight Dream, perhaps? Or are we going to stick with Tranquility like every other game? But T-Ball back, there's Tranquility, and it is already active. Spamming out those heals, keeping everyone alive. As Divine Shield, Dragon Blade, can't heal through that. As Meg shreds the members of SPT. Easy job there, and it's going to be a full team wipe. He even survives. And TheOne, a full 5-0. They move into the bot lane.
Tetcher, what happened to this team known as the One? They're taking down the 3-time China champions SPT like it was another walk in the park. Look at the value here that Meng on that Divine Shield Dragon Blade is going to get once again. No Twilight Dream, could have used it here, could have used it now. Maybe that would have put a halt onto the onslaught. Lucky completely ignored here as well on the Odin. He's just going to rain down some hellfire onto the enemies in that choke point. And as such, the One, they walk away not only with another altar, not only with a bell tower in the bottom, but also with a 3-level lead.
Yeah, and that's a good plan. Let's have everyone group up against an Odin and a Dragon Blade as Meng interrupts the channel. They're looking for the greed. They want to try and get everything here. And if the One can do this, this might just be a beginning of a snowball against SPT. How much are they willing to risk? 13 is so close. Sonya moves up to soak it. There's the flashlight to interrupt with that shield glare. And level 13 will be achieved by Sonya. They're dropping low on health, though. Are they willing to try and contest? No, it looks like they are going to give it up and just take the level advantage.
I think that is good for 2 reasons, right? First of all, it's only going to be 3 shots because they were able to take down the bottom bell tower before, the One that is. Also, with that bottom team fight just being a couple of minutes ago, there was no way all the heroic abilities were ready again. But here we go, a quick kill on Molly on the Greymane, and already SPT is in complete disarray.
They are moving forward. ZZ gets trapped, Soap dashes away, but Stone the Crows, down he goes, the Blaze. And Meng, once again, just Dragon Blades through everyone. Another lost fight for SPT.
You gotta be kidding me, Meng.
They even want Misaka, they get him. And they're going to lose top bell tower as well. Our Chinese champion on the back foot lose another bell tower at 9 minutes.
The One is unleashed. They're playing out of their minds right now against one of the strongest teams in the league. Not only were they able to take maps of CE before, but now they're absolutely demolishing SPT on Towers of Doom with that hyper-aggressive Genji Uther comp. The exact same composition that worked so well for them yesterday. They cannot be stopped. They take all 3 bell towers. That's going to be a constant bombardment against SPT, Tetcher.
Spot will be reclaimed very quickly. There's the Warlord's challenge for the turnaround. They're trying to burst through here. But Beltower was not taken. Genji defended it. He forced back the Greymane here. They're going for all 3 channels here. They're holding the line. They've moved down to bot lane to defend it. In comes SPT. They're cleaning it up, and they will prevent the assault. But that was many shots that just went through.
And I heard a feisty giggle as well, so somewhere mercenaries must have broken through. I think it was top lane because they had taken that mercenary camp before. So 3 additional core shots against SPT. And that altar, although they were able to take back bottom previously, I don't think they can even afford to do that. They need to cut their losses. They need to get experience by taking down those bell towers. So yet another altar falling into the hands of the One SGTY. But they're not done just yet. They're trying to keep the enemies occupied. They're trying to keep them busy. They know that 2 members, namely Greymane and Blaze, are not here to defend.
Here you see SPT getting pushed back. Misaka does tank through this time, but top bell tower gonna go down. Top bell tower down. Hugo just absolutely wrecks the Greymane. And we have to be careful with our language on this show. Do you think I'm allowed to quote World of Warcraft?
Go for it.
Down goes Genji. To quote the Hosen Ook, they're getting ooked in the Duke. They are getting absolutely outplayed here as the One move up for the boss.
Is that in Mr. Pandaria?
Yeah.
Fantastic. One of my personal favorite expansions of all time, by the way. Judge me, fight me, I'll take you on. But the One, they're absolutely dominating. I've never seen a team dismantle SPT like that one before. No matter where you look, bottom, top, middle, the One, they're winning one-on-ones. They're winning team fights, 5 versus 5s. Hugo seems to be on a different level than Melody C, and I never thought I would say anything quite like it, but when the best mechanical player of SPT is facing the best mechanical player of the One and is getting absolutely dominated, then you know that the One are riding the momentum, baby.
They are in full control, 14 to 29 in terms of core health, but this is the joy of this map. It is never over until the core hits 0, and as such, SPT, they have finally reclaimed all 3 of their bell towers, and they are prepared to fight down talents and down levels, because that's all they can do here. Misaka in position. Warlord's challenge could be good here. Gets stunned up, though. It's not and Misaka is dead.
He is DED right there. If a Garrosh falls that quickly, you know what the reason is. First of all, it is going to be the bigger they are on the Tychus. A beautiful adaptation onto the armor of Garrosh. And then, of course, we have so much more percentage damage. The Titan Grenade coming in from Tychus as well. We have Sonya applying so much burst damage, just like Genji. Look at Soap trying to buy a little bit of time with the flames over the wall, but not reaching Lucky this time. Positioning as far away as he can. Oh, never mind, still hit him.
Fire denial here. This is a 4 versus 4 because one hero is dead and Sonya is in the bot lane. And it looks like they're pretty happy to give this up now. They've guaranteed they got the bot altar. They're very happy to just grab top and go for a 2-for-1. Also, top bell tower has been reclaimed by Genji.
Oh my god. And 5 more shots raining down, bringing the core of SPT down to 5 HP. Now, we could have a lethal situation if more than one bell tower gets activated in the next round. Even the boss, if it comes back online, could bring down the core to 1, and then SPT would truly be with their backs against the wall. Now, mind you guys, Towers of Doom is the map to start a comeback. If SPT can find the rhythm, if they somehow can win the next couple of team fights, they can definitely take back all the structures they lost earlier, and they can still win this. However, it's going to be a long road and a steep mountain to climb.
That it will. There's not much they can do in terms of defense. They're finally on even talents, so that is a start here. Staka using that situation to just throw his weight around as that hefty orc holds the line and clears out the bruisers. As Hugo comes back for some unfinished business, going to recapture that top lane the second it becomes available.
And SPT, of course, they're trying to keep those mercenaries at bay. They're trying to keep their structures safe and sound, but because they had lost them all so early, guess what? There's no more towers, there's no more fountains. All these elements are crippling the overall combat efficiency of SPT so much. Look at the one, they can still fall back, they can buy a little bit more time, and Hugo is absolutely demolishing the top bell tower, just like Meng is doing it to the middle here. Now, 2 altars Tetra. If they get 2 bell towers after losing the bottom, it could still be lights out. The one is trying to shuffle around. They're willing to let go here. As long as they take both middle and top, it's going to be a beautiful situation for them.
Sonya should definitely get top. Mid might be a different question. Genji doesn't exactly have the best attack damage. You can finally see the other members of the one rotating, but they're going to try and kill Uther. Just Divine Shields. And turns around for them.
He's buying time. They're buying time.
Wait,
they did
wait,
it!
no!
Oh!
Lucky gets the channel. 5 objectives are held,
wow!
And that is GG. The one take game number 1 versus SPT.
Masterfully done. The ultimate debate there by the one, not only dominating SPT in those team fights, but also playing them and schooling them like little children. I never thought I would say this word when referring to SPT, Tetra, but they got absolutely dismantled. The one is like, get out of here, SPT. Your time is over. You're too old.
Outside of Korean teams or like European teams or maybe some of the American teams, I never thought I would see SPT look so weak in a game like that. The one, to be fair, SPT, they did what they could with the comp they had. The one, their comp just outclassed them and their play outclassed them.
Unbelievable. Not only going for those masterful team fights, but also going for a superior brain mode, right? Knowing exactly, okay, if Uther just gets them a little bit further into our half of the map, then we're going to have enough time for Sonya to take top and make it in time, for Genji to get middle and make it in time. And Tychus doing all of that. He was channeling, probably already, lighting up a certain item that he's not allowed to carry in the Nexus, but he did so anyways. He didn't care. And that was just so well played. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, it was just a insane game by the one. Turns out, Genji Uther, when you're that good at it, doesn't matter what the current meta is, you might as well just keep playing it. And I think the SPT are going to be changing their ban priorities for the next game, and perhaps bringing out something like, who knows, maybe even a Medivh themselves, get themselves those extra points, because no matter what now, all SPT can hope for now is a tie to keep themselves both 2 points behind CE.
Yeah.
If they lose, the one will tie with CE, and SPT will be left in second place alone.
The one will be 1 point behind the CE, because they also get a point.